Hi, I'm Jim Thomas. Welcome to Chicagoland's only outdoor show where you can be the winner. Today we're giving away hundreds of dollars in prizes, so don't go away. Nice to have you with us. You know, I'm sure that just about all of you folks have heard the old saying, you've seen one, you've seen them all, right? Well, that much used phrase may apply to some things that we encounter in our lives, but it sure as heck doesn't pertain to fish or fishing. For instance, I don't care how many fish you catch of the same species, each one of them gives the angler the same thrill as did the first one he ever hooked. And the same goes for location. Doesn't make a bit of difference how many times you visited the same lake or stream. Each trip is like starting all over again. And somehow it too offers as much fun and excitement as the first trip you ever made there. I guess that's just one of the many fascinating aspects of angling. Each trip to the old fishing hole offers a whole new batch of fun. And we'll get to our first question today and pursue this subject a bit farther when we come back. Glenn Gorman of Orland Park, Illinois, sent in our first question today, which goes something like this. I watch your show every Saturday and would sure like to see some more largemouth bass fishing. How about it? Well, you bet, Glenn. And like I said before, we never get tired of trying our luck on this great game fish. So let's get going, okay?
Amistad Dam is truly an engineering miracle, brought about through the combined efforts of the United States and Mexico. The dam itself was officially dedicated in 1969 by the presidents of both great countries. And the view from up here is nothing short of spectacular. On one side, the Rio Grande River, which separates the United States and Mexico, and on the other is Lake Amistad itself. Believe me, it was worth getting up a little earlier this morning just to see this fantastic project. Up ahead is Mexican customs, and on this side, the U.S. port of entry. Bill Bird, manager of the Del Rio Holiday Inn, promised to go fishing with me today, and Bill, like all the rest of the fine sportsmen down here, says he's got a real hot spot for largemouth black bass. Well, if it's anything like some of the other areas of this great lake I've angled, I should have more fun than a barrel of monkeys hauling in those 4- and 5-pounders. And as usual, the weather is absolutely beautiful. And that water is as calm as a mirror this morning. Did you ever see anything more inviting? This AM. Everything from spin sticks on the surface to bushwhackers and speed shad for underwater offerings. Bill's going to try a yellow-skirted bushwhacker first, and I'm going to pitch out one with a white skirt. Well, we'll see what we can stir up. This cove we're fishing ought to produce some really nice bass. There it is, first strike of the morning. Bill sets the hook and the battle begins. Wowee, watch him fight. And while I was was concentrating on Bill's fish, I ended up with one of my own. And if I'm not careful, Bill and I are going to get our lines all fouled up. What a thrill, fighting two respectable-sized bass in water so clear, you can see every move they make. How's that for a good fish, huh? And remember, I've still got one on my line to bring in. Why, this is the kind of action you dream about. And this baby looks even larger than Bill's. A real introduction to a morning's angling on Amistad Lake, huh? In this lake are big and fat, and when they hit, you'll feel the equivalent of an electric shock go up your casting arm. And this is where good tackle comes in handy, too. Okay, here's another nice one for the old stringer. Yes, sir, that's some lure. Now let's see how Bill's making out with this bomber spin stick. If they're feeding on the surface, it's a real killer. Work it just right, partner. Oh, a smashing strike. Set the hook and start the fight. Just get a load of this. Right. It's been a long time since I've seen so much bass action in one spot, believe you me. And that stringer is getting pretty heavy. Okay, Bill, give her another try. Maybe you'll nail another one. Nail another one? Brother, these gamesters are really in a feeding mood today. See what I mean? I've got one, too. Well, about the only way I can sum up this morning's action is truly fantastic. No matter what we threw at these Amistad bass, they took it with a viciousness befitting their reputation. There was hardly a minute when either one or both of us didn't have a fish on. And in between times, whoever had a spare hand was using it to put them on the stringer. I can't remember when I've enjoyed a day out on the lake any better. And with a bunch of bass like that, wouldn't you say the same? There's one thing for sure. Even though we'd had our fun for this trip and we're on the way home, both of us were formulating plans to come back to this dream spot at the very next opportunity.
I've fished Lake Amistad a dozen times or more, and like I said, Glenn, each time was different, but always great fishing. Thanks for the question, Glenn. Now here's some prizes for you. A Daiwa spinning combo consisting of a famous Daiwa Regal spinning reel, which features AutoCast, one-ball bearing, and the patented gyro spin system, along with a two-piece Triforce X graphite spinning rod, strong, lightweight, and powerful, with sensitivity to feel the lightest strikes. Daiwa, committed to total quality. And we'll be back in a couple of minutes. Our next question for today's program deals with a favorite subject of ours, hunting dogs. Comes from John and Rita Schurer of West Chicago, Illinois, and reads as follows. Watching setters and pointers work upland game birds, particularly in field trial competition, is of great interest. Do you have any film on this subject? Well, we sure do, John and Rita. And the one we're playing is of an actual field trial, so let's get started.
Webster once said that a champion is a valiant fighter and winner. He will overcome all obstacles to take first place over all the others. A champion can't always be judged by his outward appearance, for it's his heart, his stamina, and his will to win that makes him a champion. All champions have their proving ground. Athletics in the Olympics, baseball players in the World Series, racing car drivers at the Indianapolis Speedway, and bird dogs have their day at Grand Junction, Tennessee. But training a champion is an art in itself. The trainer's first job is to get to know his own dogs like they do people. Each has his own temperament and disposition, and the training methods must be adapted to fit the individual dog. To make a champion, you must start with a bold, keen-nosed, aggressive dog. Most handlers start their training when the dog is between 1 and 2 years old. Candidates for the national trials are judged on what is known as the Armenian standards. These standards are kept in mind when the trainer selected and trains his dog. The dog must have a great deal of bird sense. He must use his brains, his eyes, and his nose to the fullest advantage and hunt the likely places on the course. He must possess speed, style, courage, and stamina, and good manners always. He must be bold, snappy, and spirited. He must range in front, by the side, but never behind. He must be regularly and habitually governable. He must know when to turn and to keep his handler's course in view. And at all times, he must keep uppermost in his mind the finding and pointing of birds for his handler. The standards are high for these dogs, and a champion isn't made overnight. Now the ceremonies are over, and it's time for the real heart of the trial to begin. The morning run starts promptly at 8 a.m. Charge of the gallery during the run. The gallery is a group of mounted spectators who follow the dogs. They may be owners, handlers, or just folks interested in watching the dogs run. Also mounted and ready to ride are the judges, whose job it is to watch the dogs, evaluate the performance, and select the winners. Then the first brace is released, and look at them go. Now we're here at this point on the blue line course. At the end of a 3-hour heat, we'll be here, and the morning run will be over. The cry of point is heard, and stragglers try to jockey into position to see what's going on. If you think that excitement can't mount on an occasion like this, then just ask the marshal if his job is easy holding back this gallery when a dog is pointing. Sometimes the dog makes a point, but the birds are not there. He has located the lingering scent of birds which have run off in the tall grass and flown off some distance away. This is known as a false point, and it counts against the dog. Let's skip a couple of days and see if we can pick up some more action. Let's watch another afternoon breakaway. And off they go. Another performance in keeping with the standards with the Grand National, and it's the end of another day. After 3 hours of running, a long, strenuous course, there are always two very tired dogs ready for a well-deserved rest. The riders and their mounts are tired too. Some of the horses have ridden every course every day, and there are more heats yet to come. Yes, every year is a great one for the Grand Nationals, with many races won by scores of fine pointers and spirited setters. But all good things must come to an end, and when the last race reaches a finish, the field trials are over for another year. All these dogs, their owners and their handlers, can go home proud knowing that their performances have lived up to the records set by champions past.
Those dogs really earn their chow, don't they? Anyway, we hope you enjoyed the action, John and Rita. And now let's take a look at your prize. Daiwa's new Black Widow bait casting reel with your choice of right or left-handed retrieve, offering exceptional performance, matched with one of Daiwa's Tri-Force number 561 series bait casting rods, with many exciting features like a new reel seat design for superior sensitivity and comfort. Daiwa, committed to total quality. We'll be back in a couple of minutes. Well, we have time here for at least one Jim's closing notes. Letter received from Mr. Stanley Tuman, T-U-M-A-N, of Burbank, Illinois. And he says that 27 years ago, he fished outside San Diego for yellowtail and bonita. And let me tell you, that's great fishing out there. I've fished many, many times in the San Diego area, particularly for yellowtail. Fabulous fish. He goes on to say that a friend of mine caught a hammerhead shark. And he said, I've watched a lot of shark shows, but very few shows on catching hammerhead sharks. Probably the reason, Stan, is the hammerhead is not necessarily known for its glamour. The white shark, which is portrayed more often than not as the savage of the shark family because it does attack human beings and has been documented a number of times doing so, is the one that sort of steals the limelight. That's the one that's featured in all of the Shark 1, 2, and 3, I believe, movies. And anything in the future probably will involve that one. However, the hammerhead is an odd-looking fish, and I happen to be present in Port Aransas, Texas, where a friend of mine caught a world's record hammerhead a number of years ago. The fish was about upwards of 1,000 pounds in weight, and I think it was 13 or 14 feet long. It was a tremendous fish, and was caught on the jetties by some young people, as a matter of fact. And my friend acquired this hammerhead, fresh froze it, had a special refrigerated car, and he took this around to some of the flea markets for people to see it. And it was quite a sight. So the hammerhead is certainly, people don't really go fishing for it. Occasionally someone will hook one accidentally, but the glamour, if you could call it that, of the shark family is, of course, the great white shark, and this is one that gets all the publicity. But the hammerhead, if hooked, will give you a great battle. Thank you very much, Stan, for your question. We'd like to, or rather your comments here, we'd like to send you one of these little lure boxes. I think you'll find it handy, and we hope you use it in good health and catch lots of fish in the future, and that you don't wait 27 years to try for some more yellowtails. That's it for now. We hope you enjoyed the program as much as we did bringing it to you. Remember, enjoy our great outdoors, but please don't leave your good manners at home, okay? Until next time, this is Jim Thomas saying so long, best of luck to you all.